passengers all the way away from the entrances of the terminals. In this particular season when it's raining, Mr. Speaker, we have seen mothers carrying their children through the rain, and the CS is a traveled man. He has seen what other international airports look like. Why can't we drop passengers at the doors of the terminals? Because we already have a security check at the entrance of the airport. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
CS, that's a very direct question.
Mr. Speaker, it's not that I don't want to answer the question, but with your guidance, even if it's not now, for future, is there a latitude to ask any question, even where the ministry has not prepared a response? Because I have no problem answering the question, but we move from a road to the...
What has been happening, CS, is like the guideline is members should really stick to that particular question. But one or two questions really is not a bad thing, just to give guidance, and also because we can't really restrict the members to stick on Kajiado Road, on one road.
No, I'm just saying, yes, I agree.
Just a few, one or two. You can
I agree, Mr. Speaker.
If you are not really still, you can say you will do your work, homework, and then report back.
Not really. I just wanted to, it would have been more appropriate to respond to Senator Sifuna's question under the other question on Kakamega airstrip. It would have been more relevant than under this. But nevertheless, Mr. Speaker, the airport dropping areas are determined by security plans within the airport. I've just landed at the JKI this morning, Mr. Speaker, and like many other passengers, ourselves, the President, were dropped far away from the terminal, and we had to walk through the rain with umbrellas to the terminal itself. Mr. Speaker, this is nothing just changes because of the rain. The plans are already in place for where an aeroplane is designated, where they park. Mr. Speaker, the ones that are able to use the ladder, there's a name for it. Mr. Speaker, that helps enter the airport directly are helped to do so. But Mr. Speaker, in the long run, as I have said before, our JKI infrastructure is a bit constrained to accommodate all the airlines and to accommodate all the parking that we require. And that's an issue that is in regard to building a new terminal, Mr. Speaker, that I've said over and over again. We are in the process of working on the a new PPP model of a new terminal that we should be advertising on 15th of January. And hopefully, Mr. Speaker, by June, we get the relevant contractor so that in the next 3 years, we have a complete new airport. That, Mr. Speaker, I promised when I was being vetted to come to office that I was going to resolve first the dispute that was there between a Chinese company, Katik, and KAA, whose contract was terminated in 2015. Unfortunately, when we should have built a new terminal. Mr. Speaker, I report to the country that in record time we have resolved that dispute and saved the country the claims that they were making of 25 billion shillings. Now the greenfield is free and open and vacant for us to advertise for a new PPP contractor to build a new terminal. I shall be saying more later, Mr. Speaker, when I respond to the question of Senator Kalwale on the Kakamega airstrip. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, CS. Senator Tobiko, on this question 047, do you have any supplementary question? At least one, because you have the next question is also from you, 048.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to make a follow-up on the supplementary question that Senator Seki had asked on the Isara Mashuru Kajiado Road, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I needed maybe the CS to understand, because I'm sure he's responding, of course, with the data he's being given from the ministry, and we are the users of this road, so I just want to, to give the CS a better picture of that road. Mr. Speaker, this road, although the entire road was meant to be low volume, the part from Kajiado to Imaroro was done by Kenha. Then the other part from Imaroro to Isara was done by Kera. Now, Mr. CS, this is where you'll see the difference in workmanship of different government agencies. The part that was done by Kenha from Kajiado to Maroro is good, although it's low volume, and being used by the same lorries, heavy trucks, sand harvesting trucks. But the part from Imaroro to Isara, which was done by Kera, this is where we have problems. This is where we have bumps missing at strategic places like towards bridges and all that. And this is also where we have all the potholes now. So when you see both sides of the road, although the road is meant to be all low volume, you can see the workmanship by Kera was terribly poor. The one by Kenha was fairly well done. So, Mr. CS, the part that was done by Kera
Senator
really
Tobiko,
needs to
be
be
specific.
Yes.
Be specific to your supplementary question.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I'm very specific that the part that was done by Kera from Imaroro to Isara is in terrible condition. It has potholes, it's causing accidents, and really this is where we need the ministry to immediately come in, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. And then I had another question.
I think that's a similar question Senator Seki asked, but can just 1 minute on that stretch of the dilapidated road.
It's not true that it's not true as the senator said that Kena did part of the road. No, it was Kera. Both of it is Kera. But the difference, Mr. Speaker, is that the road to Imaroro is by Kera, but annuity program. Annuity program is the one where we were signing up with a private investor to construct, maintain, and at a very exorbitant prices and cost that since I came to office, I've terminated that program because it was exploitative and the cost. We will discuss that in other times, Speaker. But the second part now was done under low volume. That makes the two difference. The difference is that the other one is under annuity, the second part is under low volume. And the rest of the answer that goes with low volume, I had already put it unanswered. I don't know whether the senator was already in, but in a nutshell, is to just say that the low volume also steel program has caused us problems across the country. You have roads that before they are complete, they also have potholes. And again, we have decided that we will not continue with low volume steel. Even for the ongoing roads, we'll try to make sure that we do it to the standard level to avoid the situation we are in. And we promised, Honorable Senator, that we shall be able to attend to that road as part of our maintenance responsibilities. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Senator Tobiko, kindly ask the next question, 048.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I believe the next question was 048. This is the question about the Isinya Konza Road, which we needed to know, Mr. Speaker, if there are plans to upgrade the Isinya Konza Road to bitumen standards, and if so, for the minister to indicate the projected timelines for the same.
Yes.
Following on your directions, Mr. Speaker, I'll just be brief to say that road is extremely important. It is strategic. Konza Technopolis is Silicon Savannah, and it's very important for us to make sure that we support the infrastructure around it. Mr. Speaker, I was part of a delegation with the president that went to Korea late last year, and part of the roads we submitted for possible consideration in terms of financial support from the Korean administration or government is this road. And therefore, I want to assure you, Honorable Senator Tobiko, that yes, the ministry through Kenya has plans to upgrade the Isinya Konza Road to bitumen standards and has completed the design and tender documents are ready. The timelines for works will only be set upon us finding the funds. And I can assure you that we are working on it. If I had the time, I'll tell you the humongous responsibility we have first to complete the pending roads before we come to this. That is why, because we cannot finance this under GOK funding, the only way is to work with development partners, and Korea government is one of those development partners we're trying to work with to support this road. Thank you.
So, Honorable Senators, I want to give further guidance that once we read the question by the Senator and the CS response, I want to get specific supplementary question from the Senator, and then we move to the next question. I want to spare 40 minutes at the end of his session so that now I open up to Senators to ask any other issues that you might be having. So that we can save time and track the real supplementary questions, I want now Senator Tobiko to ask you a specific supplementary question on this specific road.
Mr. Speaker, you know, it's a bit difficult to be on that specific road because, as the CS has said, they're waiting for funds. But, Speaker, allow us to, make connected, supplementary questions, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to inform the CS that on this floor, I have lamented and I have brought the cry of the people of Kajiado, or specifically on the issue of, raising a number of our roads to bitumen standards, particularly that Isinya Konza Road, because as you say, it's connected to the Konza Technopolis, which is the city of the future, and Kajiado wants to get connected to that city. Mr. Speaker, but I want to give the CS the scenario in Kajiado. Mr. CS, the Mombasa Road, right from Namanga Junction, as you go towards Machakos Junction, at KMC, there is a road that has been raised to bitumen standards going to Kinanie, the Machakos side. The Kajiado side, there is nothing. Mr. CS, before you reach Machakos Junction, there is another road towards Moa Hills, going to Sonko Home and those environs. On the Kajiado side, there is no road. But to Kambani, there is a tarmac that has been raised just recently. Mr. CS, of course, there is at Machakos Junction, there is a road going to Machakos headquarters and town. No road on the Machakos side. After the Machakos Junction, before you reach Konza Junction, there is a new road. I don't know what it's called. Senator Kavintu can tell us. There is a new road done, bitumen standard, towards Ukambani side. On the same breath, on the Kajiado side, nothing. Konza Junction, there is a road going towards Machakos Junction, the one we want you to connect to Kajiado now. On the Kajiado side, nothing. Then reaching Salama, there is a road going to Wote, tarmac. On the Kajiado side, nothing. Mr. CS, Kajiado has voted for this government. Kajiado has voted for this government. And Mr. CS, this is the government of William Samoei Ruto is the only one that can rescue the Kajiado people so that we are also considered as Kenyans. Mr. Speaker, I want the CS to get our picture because it's painful. Even electricity, it's only on the Ukambani side. On the Kajiado side, they think maybe we want electricity for cows, but we need for human beings, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, please, Kajiado needs development. And I'm really praying that the CS will get, and I'm the vice chair of the Transport Committee, the Roads and Transport Committee, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I hope the CS is getting the pain that I'm carrying for the people of Kajiado, because it's real. And we feel like we have been left out. Thank you.
Senator Tobiko, I also want to understand, do you mean the road is continuous from the Ukambani side, it closes the tarmac, and then the other side is continuous? There is a point of order from Senator Agnes Kavindu.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to tell a senator that most of these roads she has mentioned are not made by the ministry, but by the county government of Machakos. So you are, yes, like the Mua Road was done by county government of Machakos, and that particular road you're talking about, it goes to this church of one of the prominent businessmen in Machakos. He did it personally. So most of these roads are made by the county government. They are not roads for the ministry. So but maybe your account is sleeping on this.
Senator Agnes Kevin, that was a point of information, not a point of order. So, CS.
Mr. Speaker, while I agree with Senator Tobiko that a number of roads have been done in Machakos County on the left side of the Mombasa Road as you go to Mombasa. And I disagree with Senator, my friend Kavindu, that done by county, it was actually done by us, the national government. Mr. Speaker, I want to say this. We don't do roads in County A because it has been done in County B. Mr. Speaker, Kajiado does not deserve roads because Machakos has been done. Kajiado deserves roads because they have a right to have roads, not in comparison to Machakos. And that's where I disagree with Senator Tobiko, because it is not Machakos versus Kajiado. The entity that is supposed to develop our country and the ministry that I preside over should be able to look at the needs of every county and respond to those needs independent of what's happening in another county, so that it's not pitting one county as against the other. And for that reason, Mr. Speaker, it doesn't mean that there is no work going on with Kajiado County. Kajiado County is one of the biggest in the country, very, very vast county. That is why even if you do 200 kilometers, they don't feel it, because, Mr. Speaker, the county is big. A lot of work needs to be done. I want to report to the Senator that there's the road also of Isiara, Imaroro, Kajiado, up to Kiseri and Ngong, is parallel to the Mombasa Road. But our job is to make sure that we connect the remaining connectors on this parallel road, including the one you have raised. But also to report to you that the road of Ilasit Njukini, that is connecting Taita Taveta and Kajiado County, is under now negotiation to move it from the annuity program that was and deliver it under a different format, which is in this case EPC. And I want to try my best to ensure that we get the contract on site by March. I am undertaking personal commitment and negotiation as a CS with the relevant agencies to make sure that that conversion happens, so that we save the country a lot of money from the annuity program that I told you earlier, but deliver that road hopefully by making sure that the contractor is on site by March. So last thing is that I know for sure Kajiado County voted for the government of the day. But as a cabinet secretary, I serve everybody. I serve for those who have been voted for, and I serve also those who did not vote for the government of the day, because my responsibility to serve everybody equally. So Kajiado deserves roads for being Kajiado, not for voting for the president, and not also because Machakos are good roads.
Thank you. Because this matter is touching on Kajiado, let me allow the Kajiado Senator to ask his supplementary question.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I also want to thank the Cabinet Secretary, particularly on the Ilasit Njukini Road, which has also given a commitment of March next year. I look forward to see successful. I go straight to the question, a supplementary question in regards to the connection of Irongai, Twala, Kitengela Road, CS. Is there any plans and within the ministry and government to do that road, and particularly also on the issue of a 65 road, Kajiado North roads that are yet to be completed? Please just do a commitment on the same, because it's something that you really understand. You may not need to go back to the office. The Kajiado North 65 kilometers road that has yet to be connected along the Kajiado North, and the connection between Rongai to Kitengela road. Please, Honorable Speaker, thank you very much.
Honorable CS.
The bypass from Kitengela to Rongai is about 24 kilometers. Mr. Speaker, it's on the design stage. At the moment, we are the same fate, that we want to design and see how to raise the funds. Initially, we've been thinking, in the past we thought maybe we should do a PPP from this junction at Galleria, a ring road up to Karen via Kiserian, Rongai, Kiserian, Kajiado to the corner here. Those plans are still being thought through, and whether it is economically viable to deliver it through PPP. But the junction you're talking about, the link straight from Rongai to Kiserian, is something that we are working on, designs, and hopefully we can raise the funds to do so, to make sure that we deliver. I think, Mr. Speaker, I had a meeting with all the leaders of Kajiado County, and a number of the proposals, including the senator, including Senator Tobiko, and the other elected leaders, and there are a number of roads we discussed how to go about it to deliver. I believe that let's first sort of the problem that is the elephant in the room is the pending roads. Once we deal with the pending bills, we'll see what to do. We are only able to do new roads if we have the support of development partners. But the country as it stands now, there is a huge pending bill of 155 billion. And there is another problem, which is committed roads that are about 700 billion that we should be able to deliver. We ought to deliver against a budget annually of about 50 billion. So we have a challenge we are facing as a ministry, but we are doing everything to ensure that we deliver the roads that are pending and see what to do with the new ones that are being designed.
Thank you. So we go to the next question, number 030, Senator Mwenda Gataya.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I am seeking to know from CS Rons, who also happens to be very conversant with the Tharaka County. We have this project. This is RWC 150D474 for the construction of Kayododi, Iriga Chogoria, Weru Mutindwa, Keriani, Marima Road in Tharaka County, which is torn since its launch in 2016. So, Honorable Waziri, what measures is the government taking to ensure the completion of the project, and could the Cabinet Secretary provide a timeline for the same? See, what is stopgap measures is the government taking to ensure that the roads remain motorable in all seasons, particularly in Gitombani, Mutindwa, Kantaraki, Kajiododi, Keriani, and the Marima areas.
Thank you.
I have a supplementary question, Honorable Speaker. I don't know whether...
Before the answer is given to you.
Thank you.
Honorable CS.
I thought maybe you could answer.
Mr. Speaker, if you may allow me, Mr. Speaker, first of all, I agree with the Senator of Tharaka Nithi, my friend Mofire. I have visited that road and his village when he was the MC of the area, and at that point I was serving in this house. Mr. Speaker, if you may allow me to use that opportunity to just give a global picture of what's happening. We have a pending bill, Mr. Speaker, of 155 billion. 155. That is work already done by contractors across the country. That includes 45 billion for acquisition of land and 105 billion shillings for payment of work done already by contractors. We have a commitment of the final auditing is being done of 700 billion shillings, over 700 billion, to complete these roads eventually. Mr. Speaker, we also have the challenge of, for every pending bill, it is accruing interest and other charges, Mr. Speaker, as we progress. So the total cost of the pending bill eventually cannot be determined now because it's a moving target, including claims on equipment, claims on so many things. Mr. Speaker, this is a humongous issue. The President has established a pending bill committee that is trying to look at these roads. Mr. Speaker, because also I know senators across here, and even if members of National Assembly were here, they are going to ask the next question, is that some roads have been pending, like the one of Tharaka Nithi from 2016. Mr. Speaker, some of those roads, if you allow me to, just give me 1 minute, to read that, Mr. Speaker, we have a problem across the country. Roads like the one in Meru, Mr. Speaker, in the Gembe region, where it was awarded, a road was awarded, Mr. Speaker, in 2016 in Maua, Atiru, Kilili to National Park. That links again to Tharaka Nithi for that matter, 2016. It is incomplete. It's less than 30% done. A road in Makwiny, Mr. Speaker, that is Kali, Kikima, all the way to Kikima, Utangwa Township. Again, that is a road, Mr. Speaker, that is still pending from 2020. You have roads like Mara Chuka, which, Mr. Speaker, have been pending from 2018. You have roads in Kitui, Mr. Speaker, that have been pending from 2017. You have a road in Mandera that has been pending, Mr. Speaker. This one is even a challenge, 2018. West Pokot County, Kapsait, Kapsangar, Tapaj, Mr. Speaker, has been pending from 2019. You have Nandi County, Mr. Speaker, that has been pending from 2017. You have some roads in Elgeyo Marakwet again like that, Mr. Speaker. You have roads, Mr. Speaker, I said this one for Nandi of Timboroa has been pending from 2017. So why am I saying this? It's because, Mr. Speaker, when I visit around the country, most of the leaders, including senators, would create an impression that a road is pending only in his village or is in the county. This is a national phenomenon, an inherited problem. The road, for example, this one of Tharaka Nithi, Mr. Speaker, I wish to acknowledge that the Kaji Uduthi Irika Chogoria Meru Mutindwa Kiriaini Marima Road, Mr. Speaker, was awarded in 2016 and has stalled since 2021 following the withdrawal of the contractor's assignee citing non-payment of certificates. The 23-kilometer road project was awarded to Ms. Dawn Woods Company Limited in November 2016 at a sum of 978 million shillings, 662,957 for construction of works and 106,000 for maintenance of works. 106 million, sorry, 648,784 for maintenance works. The contract period was months within the initial date of completion, was 24 months with the initial date of completion being 21st November 2018. Mr. Speaker, however, the contractor only achieved 10.3%, which translates to 2.3 kilometers of tarmac, having faced a significant constraint in completing the project. The contractor consequently sought leave to assign the project to Ms. China GMC International Limited, which was granted to allow completion of the project. The assignment commenced on 2nd September 2019 for a period of 2 months, revised the project completion to 1st May 2021. Following the assignment, additional milestones were achieved. The project amounting to 6 kilometers of tarmac, bringing the cumulative achievement to 9.32 kilometers. Unfortunately, the assignee suspended works at the project on 27th of November 2021 due to pending bill of 121,906,886.08. The achievement to date therefore remains 9.32, which is at the 7% aggregated progress. So far, Ministry through CARE has since paid a portion of the amount owed to his MS China GFC International Limited, amounting to 38,209,100. This revises the pending amount due to contractor to 89,769,822. The minister has advised the contractor to resume works and ensure completion of the project as arrangements are put in place to settle the outstanding bill in the next financial year. We therefore envisage completion of the project by June 30, 2024, subject to adequate budgetary provision and sustained disbursements. Upon resumption of works, the contractor is under instruction to prioritize and undertake maintenance of the entire remaining sections of the road ahead of the main works to ensure motorability and usage of the roads. So, Mr. Speaker, that is the standing with Ms. Jiangxi, Mr. Speaker, under instruction from us that once he resumes work. Mr. Speaker, I want to make an understanding from the leaders. Some of these contractors we have to literally negotiate. You negotiate and tell them, yes, we owe you 100 million, but take the 30 million, go to site. And some of them graciously have done so. And I have no shame to say most of the Chinese contractors have spent a huge portion of their money sustaining their presence on the ground. Partly because they have good support from their country, perhaps how they access credit is a bit better. Our contractors, local ones, are really struggling, Mr. Speaker, because of the burden that comes with a pending bill, especially if they are borrowed from our commercial banks with the interest rates that are double digits, sometimes going up to almost 20%. Mr. Speaker, I will endeavor and I assure the Senator that the negotiations that are ongoing, I'll work hard to make sure that this contractor comes on site. And Mr. Speaker, I want to also request the Senators, because I've seen some Senators complaining. If some of these works are being undertaken by the Chinese contractors, you should be grateful that they have capacity to be sustained. But some people here, Mr. Speaker, are very uncomfortable with having a foreign contractor not understanding the dynamics that, Mr. Speaker, we have to go through to make sure that those contractors are delivering for the people, because we look at the road itself. In fact, to the contrary, Mr. Speaker, locals, when you give a local contractor now, you find a situation where the locals are saying we want the other foreign contractor to do it first. It is not because all our local contractors are incompetent. It's just because access to credit and the huge pending bill has made the local contractor struggle with delivering this road, Mr. Speaker. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Gatoya, can you ask your supplementary?
Honorable Speaker, I have a supplementary question that one of my constituencies in Tharaka County has been politically been neglected in terms of Honorable Speaker, I think I need your protection. There's a lot of round consultations all over.
Senator Duro, kindly, Senator Mofa is unable to concentrate.
So, Honorable Speaker, one of my constituencies has suffered some historical injustices in terms of road network, and that constituency is Tharaka constituency. I have 3 constituencies in my county, which is Mara constituency, Chukagabangombe constituency, and Tharaka constituency. Tharaka constituency, Honorable Speaker, has for a long period of time suffered some historical injustices in terms of road network. I don't know what logic is there that a road is constructed from my neighboring county. When it reaches the border to the Tharaka constituency, that road ends there. There is one example of that road which originates from Meru County to some part of the Tharaka constituency, a place called Miomponi, and that road is stopped there. There is another road, Honorable Speaker, which originates from Maua, bitumen standard, up to Atidini. That road, when it reaches Tharaka constituency, that road is stopped there. The only road which has been, which has Tharaka constituency unseen, is the road from Gatonga to Chakariga, which has also stoned. That road was launched, I think, 2014. Up to now, that road is not even motorable. So Tharaka constituency, Honorable Speaker, I think I would request to know from Honorable Minister, why has Tharaka suffered those historical injustices in terms of road network for the last 60 years down the line? And what plans does the ministry have to make sure that the roads that are heading just at the exact bond of the Tharaka constituency extends to those areas that need those bitumen standards? There is that Miompon Road, which is supposed to connect Mukodima all the way to Gachongo. is supposed to go all the way to Nkondi, to Marimant, and join the Tharaka University. There is also that road which is supposed to come from Gatidini all the way to Kachiongo, to Mukodhima, and join the other road which is supposed to join Tharaka University. What measures is the ministry trying to put in place to make sure that Tharaka constituency enjoying the very best road network just like any other constituency in this country?
Honorable CS.
Mr. Speaker, while I may not have an answer as to why Tharaka Nithi County has been marginalized in the past, and Mr. Speaker, I've seen some people being very jittery when I attribute historical problems like the ones the Senetors done to past governments. I see people being very jittery. That's a fact. It's a fact that Tharaka Nithi County has been marginalized. That is uncontestable fact. But we do not come, Senator of Isiolo, Mr. Speaker, is saying, and also Isiolo, there are a number of places in the country, including the northern part of the country, that have really zero tarmac road network. But it is not my responsibility to write the book of lamentations. We came to office so that we can solve problems. And so one of the problems we have is to see how can we make sure that every part of this country, at least everybody tastes some level of development for equitable distribution of this infrastructure. The same way Senator Tobiko raised about Kajiado is the same way the Senator of Tharaka Nithi is asking. But there are plans underway to tarmac Miamponi, Mukodhima, Gatunga, up to Tharaka Road. Mr. Speaker, we are also alive to the fact that I was here with Professor Kindiki, my teacher, the CS Interior, when we went to see the road of Chakarika Marimanti, which is still pending from 2014. And a number of those roads, I promise you, Senator, that in this program that we are trying to resolve the pending bills, will make sure that your county the marginalization of your county is addressed. The other thing I want to give the country, there are so many people who are disillusioned because of the state of infrastructure pending from 2014, 2015, 2016 up to now. I want to give them the word of assurance. The government of President William Ruto and the Ministry of Transport and Roads and Transport under my watch is doing everything possible, working with our development partners. You've seen the progress we've made, especially with the support we are receiving from the multilateral agencies, World Bank and IMF, that you saw this week. The president has sent me to also talk to Chinese government, and I've been there 3 times. Mr. Speaker, I have acquired the notoriety of being sort of closer to the Chinese administration because a greater portion of these roads are being delivered by contractors from China. There's a program we're working together. This program, Mr. Speaker, should give us hope that in the next 2 or 3 months, most of these roads should be able to, we should be able to resume most of these roads. And I can assure most of the senators here that by the time you go to the next election, we will have done significant progress in terms of sorting out the pending roads across the country. I'm working very hard, Mr. Speaker. Unfortunately, infrastructure projects are not like instant coffee, where you brew it at a press of a button. You have to really work hard to plan, strategize, negotiate financial support. You've seen the president traveling out of the country on and off. The Speaker, let me say this. I went with the president this weekend to Europe, and for 3 nights that we were out of the country, we slept in the plane 2 nights. So there's only 1 night we slept in Europe. And the negotiations we were making, Mr. Speaker, is massive on matters infrastructure, and you will be seeing the results. So because these things require careful planning, one philosopher said that it's better to take 1 year planning and deliver in 6 months than to try to do things quickly in 3 months and fail to deliver. Mr. Speaker, we shall deliver.
Thank you. And also maybe you have informed Senator Mofaya that it is not Meru which has marginalized Tharaka, but the previous governments.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, it's right. The same way I told Senator Tobiko that The absence of roads in Kajiado has nothing completely with leadership or the people of Machakos. It's the same way I'll say that Tharaka Nithi County's marginalization has absolutely nothing, Mr. Speaker, to do with you specifically and to the people of Meru and the leadership of Meru. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, CS. Let's get the next question from Senator Murango. Now, Senator Matinga, you are representing your colleague.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'm holding brief for Senator Murango, who's attending an opening ceremony in his county. Mr. Speaker, I would want the CS to tell us what corporate social responsibility activities have been done for the local communities by the contractors undertaking road construction projects in Kirinyaga County, and B, could the contractors through the Ministry of Education consider making infrastructural improvements in at least one public primary and secondary school in the project area as part of their CSR? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators, we are doing so well. The next 10 minutes, I'll open the floor up to 11:30 for Senators to ask any supplementary question, just general. CS, this is a very direct one again. And spend 2 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, first I want to thank Senator Murango because he was part of the team of Kirinyaga County leaders who came to my office on 2nd of August, and we had an extensive discussion about all the roads that are being delivered in his county and the CSR programs and the possible CSR program we are going to undertake. Mr. Speaker, I wish to clarify that in any undertaking of CSR or corporate social responsibility is purely voluntary, and there is currently no contractual obligation on the contractors to carry out CSR. Nonetheless, we confirm that several CSR initiatives have been undertaken in Kirinyaga County by respective contractors at projects supervised by the ministry's agencies. The details of their 4 stated initiatives are captured in the table below. The Speaker, for the Stakeholder Corporation, which is constructing the road of Njegas, Mutito, Gatwe, Kangaita, Kiagi, Kianjege, Mukinduri roads. The following are the CSR programs: leveling of Gatwe Primary School playfield, leveling of the Kiburi Primary School playfield, leveling of Kiriandundu Primary School playfield. In the Jiangxi Water and Hydropower Construction Company, which is doing Kerugoya, Kiandire, Kitumbi, Old Kangaita, Baricho, Njekas, Garu, Kagaiko, all the way to Mukinduri roads. There is the construction of modern washroom at Ngaru Primary School, construction of a basketball pitch at Ngaru Girls Secondary School, leveling of the Ngaru Secondary School playfield, and leveling of Kiranja Secondary School playing field. China Wuyi, which is doing the highway, that's Mutiti, Kakio, Baricho, Getuya, Kagumo, all the way to Karira Mission Hospital, Ngurubaini roads. Mr. Speaker, I've done the construction of a dormitory at the Ngaru Girls Secondary School. I reaffirm that due to consideration was made of primary and secondary schools infrastructure needs in the project areas following consultation with the stakeholders. The contractors have since completed the listed projects and handed them over to the respective institutions. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Matinga, are you versed with those locations? Or
Mr. Speaker, sir, coming from a neighboring county from Kirinyaga, this is my second home, so I'm quite conversant with that.
So do you have any supplementary question?
Well, I'll on that one, I'll skip on that one, and then I'll go to the next question.
Okay.
Then after which I think then I can put one supplementary question.
Number 060.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. May the CS tell us why has the project of the upgrading to bitumen standard of Muriro, Rumandi, Goshe, Mahigaine, Nyamindi, Kianungu, Kiaumbu Road in Mwea constituency in Kirinyaga County not commenced despite the award of the contract? B, could the Cabinet Secretary indicate the status of contract for the construction of the said project considering the delay in its execution? And C, what measures is the government taking to ensure the commencement of the project, and could the Cabinet Secretary provide a timeline for its completion?
The Honorable CS.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to state that the project for upgrading to bitumen standards of Sagana, Kadhaka, Thiguku, Mururi, Mikaini, Nyamindi, Kimbuini, KTI, all the way to Wangaita roads, Mr. Speaker, has commenced. However, the project has registered slower progress than anticipated, arising from several challenges, including financial constraints facing the contractor and adverse weather at some sections of the project. Given the factors mentioned above, the project has so far achieved approximately 10% progress to date, translating to 5 kilometers being completed to bitumen standards, which is one milestone, and a second milestone underway with works currently ongoing on site. To facilitate its completion, the government has provided a budget line of Kenya shillings 240 million this financial year towards this project. To date, the project has been funded to the tune of 140 million shillings, which was utilized to pay the bulk of the contractor's outstanding dues, and the contractor has since fully resumed operations and is on site. The contractual completion date for the construction phase of the project is 16 July 2024. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Matinga.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker and the CS for that comprehensive answer. I'll ask one supplementary question. Mr. Speaker, there is a law that will carriage that transverses Murang'a, Kirinyaga County, and Nyeri County. The CS has addressed the issue of the compensation of the people who have been affected. Could the CS please give us an indicative timeline within which the affected people will be compensated, because we've been promising them every end of month it will be done. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
CS.
Mr. Speaker, on the compensation, I think I will follow up with KENA, the relevant agency, Mr. Speaker, as to how many people have been documented to be compensated. These are the roads that form the network of the Mau Mau roads. And Mr. Speaker, in some of the area, most of the roads were actually passing through existing road network. A few places where there was a compensation issue. I remember, if I can do it off-air, because it's a supplementary question, we had an extensive discussion with the board leaders of Nyeri and Kirinyaga on question of compensation. So I think it's for us to follow up to see how far we can go to make sure that this compensation. But the good story there is that these are people who accepted to the road to progress without really erecting roadblocks. That is the same. I had seen Senator Wambua here. The same situation happened in Senator Wambua's county, where in Kitui, where a number of places citizens give in as you work on the compensation, and I will follow up to make sure that compensation will be prompt and adequate. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honour CS. The next question and last one is from Senator Boni Kalwale.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir.
Question number 065 for the record purposes.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, sir, could the Cabinet Secretary confirm that following the presidential directive to upgrade the Kakamega airstrip to an international airport, the leadership of Kakamega County undertook public participation, obtained consent to relocate residents from their earmarked land, and conducted survey and valuation of the land for purposes of compensation? And two, what steps is the national government taking to execute the presidential directive?
Are they two or they are, is that all? Okay. CS.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am pleased to appraise this House on the information sought regarding the status of the upgrading of Kakamega Airstrip to an international airport as requested by Senator Boni Halwale and as communicated in the letter to my office. Mr. Speaker, the Kenya Airports Authority received an invitation dated 10th August 2023 from County Government of Kakamega requesting for technical assistance in planning the proposed expansion of the airstrip. Subsequently, a team comprising of the representative of KAA, Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, National Land Commission, and County Government of Kakamega carried out an inspection of Kakamega Airstrip on 18th and 19th of October 2023 to assess the proposed upgrade of Kakamega Airstrip. Honorable Speaker, I wish to inform the House that the Senate that the Kakamega Airstrip was initially designed for DHC-6 aircraft, which capacity of 13 passengers as the critical aircraft, and was to be upgraded to accommodate Fokker 50 aircraft to 60-seater. The biggest aircraft currently operating at the airstrip is Dash 8 Q100. Mr. Speaker, and I launched this service from Wilson to by Skyward Limited from Wilson to Kakamega early this year with a 37 passenger seat capacity. Based on the design, aircraft, and considering the topographical and environmental constraint, planning studies conducted by the authority indicate that the runway can only be extended up to a maximum of 1,400 meters. Ultimately, in the future, traffic may necessitate bigger aircraft requiring a longer runway. Then the airport relocation will have to be considered. Mr. Speaker, the proposed upgrading of the airstrip would require acquisition of approximately 20 hectares of land. This is to allow development of critical facilities as well as comply with the International Civil Aviation Organization recommended standards in terms of critical separation and obstacle limitation requirement.